What's poppin', y'all? This is Deidre with One Shot Game, man. You already know how the motto go. You get one shot at life, but a lifetime to learn all the game you need to help improve your life. The choice is yours on which route you choose to go. Now, as I always say, you get two choices. The ability to settle in the life that has been faithfully designed for you, or the ability to pave your path towards your destiny. That choice is also up to you. So, before I get into the title of my video, I want to say a big shout out to all my supporters. You guys are great, and even the ones behind the scenes, I see y'all too. So, hey, look, the title of this video is going to be on the fact that oftentimes when it is a new cycle that is ready to be broken in bloodlines and generations, which is not due to nobody in particular, but due to the universe feeling as if it's time to make a shift. You guys, you feel me? In other words, we'll call it God, Allah, etc. You know what I'm saying? Oftentimes, it'll be a certain select group of people that have mastered the lessons of life that now are basically figuring out who they are for real, which means a lot of the times they have to cut off things that they thought made them them. And oftentimes, those very things are things that have been circled around through generation and generation that weren't able to be broken by anybody before you. And maybe some of them were, but not all. You know what I'm saying? But to be able to go out and recreate your whole identity alone, away from what you thought made you you, oftentimes it's gonna have an effect of basically making people who have been adjusted to getting comfortable in what they thought was them to be able to now have to fight against or face the things they didn't want. And sometimes that creates enemies unbeknownst to you. You feel me? Silently. Really, though, it's not really them being an enemy at you. It's just they don't have the ability to look at themselves, so they need someone to blame it on. Which means oftentimes it's going to be the one person that does things completely different. And I'm going to explain it to you in great detail. This is something that gets passed down from grandparents to adults to grandchildren to great-grandchildren, right? So when someone comes along that breaks that, you know what I'm saying? And they oftentimes go after the children. You are becoming too strong. But my only line of defense is to go after your children because they're still immature in the mind mentally. But they also are going to be the ones that walk in your footsteps after you're gone. You know what I'm saying? But they're also going to be the ones we attack and go after because, again, they're not mentally suited enough to be able to understand what is going on currently in life. Oftentimes, they won't be able to learn the lessons until they become older. You know, so again, it can have a reversed effect on you, or it can have a positive effect on you depending on how strong you are. You know, listen, let me tell you something. A lot of the times, it'll be your very family members that will try to come and attack your kids in any way that they can, because they know that deep down inside, you know what I'm saying, that is something that's dearest to you. So it will be a direct effect to you. You know what I'm saying? A direct trigger to you. So you have to be strong enough to withstand the battle and be able to stand on your boundaries and stand firm on them. I swear to you, because listen, we're trapped in a world now these days where a lot of adults treat children just like them. You know what I'm saying? They have no boundaries, no guards on them, no nothing. They basically can do everything that an adult does. You know what I'm saying? So in their mind, they're thinking, if I get a hold of this child, I can convince them to go against, you feel me, someone that I feel is going against me, and that will lower their defenses and get them to fall back and lie. Ain't wrong. You know what I'm saying? So just be very careful. Like for me personally, I think about life differently, because I personally feel like forgiveness is important and understanding how that works. Because listen, that's going to be the only family that you get in your life. The people you came across in your life, you're only going to know them one time. You know what I'm saying? And life is so short, it seems as if once you get a certain age. So it's like, cherish those moments, you know what I'm saying? Cherish those people. So again, I understand that it was never directly affected to me. It was just the fact that when you were taught to fall in line a certain way and follow the people before you, anybody that is in direct opposition of that, that is the threat. So we need to attack them, you know what I'm saying? Without realizing that they, you know what I'm saying, want better for their life, and they are making a way for themselves out of the confines of what maybe joined us together. You feel me? So sometimes it takes time before they start to understand that, and the attacks start to get less and less when they once realize how strong you are. Because again, I'm telling you, in the beginning, the attacks are so strong, and it's when it seems as if you're at your breaking point between your old self and your new self. So listen, if you're not strong enough to fight them, they're gonna win. And when they win, your defenses are gonna go back down, and you're gonna go back down to the same person you always been. And that's what they want. You know what I'm saying? You can't give the enemy what they want, which is basically just a low vibrational person, not actually them. Because if they took the time to actually get to know themselves, they would understand that it's just low vibrational energy that you're operating out of. That person that is operating in their being authentic and discovering themselves and not wanting to put up with past behavior is discovering themselves. They're still the same person. They're just taking away things that didn't make them happy. And once that person starts to do that for themselves, they start to understand that that person was never the enemy. It was always yourself. You know what I'm saying? So, listen, imagine having an interaction with someone and they're exactly a mirror to you. But once the mirror starts showing you things that you really ain't happy with, you start to get mad. So you punch the mirror. You get mad, want to fight the mirror. But really, those are also aspects inside of yourself you're just not ready to grow in yet, and they have. So now it looks as if that person is the one that's the enemy, when really it's yourself. So again, when the mentals are working, and listen, the brain is the smartest part of your body. So it starts to go after what's easier to manipulate. Okay, this person is too strong. They're not allowing me to do anything that I did in the past to get them attached to me to feed my ego. Now I need to go after the children because they're not going to know no better, and they're going to feed my ego. But I'm still going to be allowed to treat them how I want by putting my burdens of how I feel about myself onto children. And what happens is then those children carry on the curses, should I say, of never knowing who they are, and they grow up believing that about themselves, and they create their life around it, never being able to have the ability to open their mind and let it grow. You feel me? Listen, it's a very tactical thing that people use. So you got to be very wise and know that, you know what I'm saying, anything that you're doing as far as allowing your child to have the ability to grow in who they are without being attached to things that they don't know the difference. They're attracted to it so much they don't know it's bad for them. But that's when an adult is supposed to come in and show them, hey, that's not how you're supposed to be treated. And you stand on your boundaries. And over time, you feel me, it will start to catch up. But you got to be strong, though, because, again, the opposition is just as strong as you are. And they ready to fight, you know, which means they're going to come at you with anything they can use to go up against your way of choosing to be authentic about who you are, and them stopping their growth and slowing them down. You know what I'm saying? And again, it's a choice. You gotta want to. You either want to grow or you don't. And the people that don't want to grow, they're perfectly okay with staying who they are. Those are the ones you gotta leave alone. You know what I'm saying? Because they can change. They see the signs. They know they can grow, but they're too caught up in what they're doing. They like it. You know what I'm saying? So let them be, because it doesn't matter what you do or say. They're going to go against you, because they're going to pretend as if they're for you, only to take from you so they can go back and do what they want. So if you back off and you allow people to just do what they want, it'll show you clearly if they're for you or not. You feel me? You don't got to, you feel me, push and control. Just let it play out how it's supposed to. You know what I'm saying? And when you know what you know, like, oftentimes those people who are set in their ways don't know what you know. So when it happens, they'll be like, oh, damn, You feel me? But you knew it already. You get me? So again, do whatever you can to protect yourself and your kids from these low vibrational adults that if they can't come after you, they're doing everything they can to protect the colony. So they have their toughest soldiers go after the children, which is the weakest mind states. And as long as they can get them to operate against you, you basically suck back in, whether you want to admit it or not. You know what I'm saying? So it's up to you to do what you need to do to still remain strong, because that's a battle in itself. That's a fight in itself. You know what I'm saying? But listen, I'm telling you, at some point, if it's what's best for you, cave into what you know. You know what I'm saying? If it's low vibrational, don't do it. Don't do it. You feel me? Because you're going to regret that you made that choice for somebody else versus making your own choices for yourself. You feel me? But then again, it becomes a battle where technicalities get involved. He say, she say, get involved. Listen, I'm not playing none of that. I'm coming to the bat with the truth. But the people that are hell-bent on keeping that storyline going, what they won't do is admit the part they played in it. They don't want to admit the part that they played in it, especially if they were doing a poor job. What they just want to do is be validated for the things that they did do. And when that situation doesn't present that, they'll basically tell on themselves. You know what I'm saying? So do what's best and necessary for you to protect everything that you stand on. You feel me? The results may not show in the beginning, but over time they will, which means you just are becoming stronger. The more attacked you get, the more stronger you become, especially if you know you're on a certain mission that you can't get off of now that you done got on the ride. You can't, listen, once you get on the ride on the roller coaster, if it starts going, you cannot get off. You just got to go with it. So that's sometimes how life is. Once you signed up and you answered the call, you cannot go any other way than what you're being called to go. You know what I'm saying? And you'll have the necessary tools and things you need to continue to stay in that line. The fight is very hard in the beginning, but over time, you start to learn how to get a handle on it. You know what I'm saying? I think that's like with anything in life, you know? So again, just beware and be cautious. You feel me? Don't take it personal because a lot of people may have disengaged from you. Listen, I drop a ton of content sometimes, and I see a lot of comments on people blaming their family. Listen, I get it. That is where you want to direct your pain to just blame it on someone. But they cannot raise you in a way that was different from how they were raised. They cannot see you being better and having more than them, being in love, getting more money, living good, because they feel as if they couldn't get it. You know what I'm saying? So what happens is now they became on the side where we make sure we keep everybody in who's a threat to living their own life and becoming authentically themselves, because they're all supposed to fall within the confines of what we have set out. You know what I'm saying? You cannot blame them for that. But if they choose to stay away from you, you know what I'm saying, until they can grow, then, you know what I'm saying, it's like, give it time, you know. But again, think about your life and how short it is. You only get one family. You know what I'm saying? You just completely don't want to ever come across those people ever again. You know what I'm saying? Solely because they are not willing to do the work. I think if you give them time, no matter how long it takes, it's possible it could be done. But again, like, listen, I'm not a person that chases anything. I believe, you know, the universe lines everything up to happen exactly how it's supposed to happen. So wherever you are, whatever you're doing in your life, it's exactly where you're supposed to be, because you're learning a lesson in that space. Until it's time to move on, that's where you're going to continue to stay. And you can't see it at the time because your mental space is not aligned with what you're learning in that space, because you're only fixated on your physical life, you know? But listen to me and understand. A lot of people will have to face things that they vow to never face, ever. And when they feel as if you're someone that faces your demons and found a way, they know that theirs is next, and so they're going to point it at you solely because they never thought they would have to look at themselves. When they can't do that, they will do everything they can to come after your children. any vessels that are not mentally, maturely strong enough to fight for themselves. You know what I'm saying? They will attack them to go up against you. And you have to become strong in that. You know what I'm saying? Because you also know that you're walking a walk where no one is protecting you. Because everybody before you is not strong enough to fight the battle that you're fighting. Because if they were, they would be right by your side. You know what I'm saying? Fighting the battle with you by understanding clearly what mission you're on. But it takes time for them to get there. Otherwise, when they come around you, you will still sense the hate, the jealousy, the animosity, because they haven't completely grown. They're probably around you to betray you in some way. You know what I'm saying? And listen, I'd rather people stay away than come around me trying to betray me, because I'm going to feel it and it's going to hurt more, especially the fact because I let you in. You know what I'm saying? So again, understand and realize that it's going to be a hard battle, but it's one you got to go through alone. And it's going to be the most beautiful thing once you become on the other side of it. After you've realized that everything you thought you knew wasn't everything that made you you. You had a whole identity you were meant to chase and discover, but you had to be willing to let go of some things. There had to be some prices that had to be paid. There had to be some things that you acknowledged that you probably never thought, and you have to be able to deal with that and transmute that. It's not that we don't feel, because we do. We have feelings. It's just we know how to take that feeling and transmute it as soon as it comes into something else, so that we don't settle in it. Oftentimes, people are not able to do that. So what happens is they see something and they're still attached to it, so they end up thinking about it for days, weeks, hours at a time. And that's how things in life affect you, and you're still attached to that. You feel me? That exactly like with exes. If you are still thinking about them, attached to them, we can't. You gotta fully extend yourself away from them, which means you are especially good at transmuting that, you know what I'm saying, into something different. So again, this life is chaotic, but it is something that once you learn how to make it work for you, you will not be in a state of feeling as if your life is worth nothing. Your life is worth everything, everybody's. You just got to be willing, again, to do the work. And they don't give us a map to that. They don't let us know what's required to do that. And even if you got the map and you took notes and you studied it, if you are still internally not willing to acknowledge what you need to grow, only you know that, and it'll stop your growth. And you'll oftentimes only hang around people that are not willing to acknowledge themselves either. That's why y'all so attached to each other. Doesn't mean they're the star of the show or they got something better than you. What it means is y'all mirroring each other. And you feel me, somewhere inside of everybody is insecurities that they not willing to grow in yet. So it leaves attachment. It's not you're able to be attached and grow on your own, that you're willing to see life from a different lens. And it takes time. You know what I'm saying? But again, protect yourself. Do whatever is necessary to protect you and your young lives. You know what I'm saying? From the people that are just not ready to grow yet, because they like operating in that low vibrational mind state until they start to see what you were saying affecting their life. And then it's a test on if they're willing to do the work. And sometimes they're so far behind that you didn't already pass that level. You know what I'm saying? So again, if you don't know what it is, I just told you. Please make sure you like, comment, share, and subscribe.